If you've been a guitar player for any amount of time, you're probably aware of the feeling of feeling stuck on your instrument. Playing the same chords, the same licks, the same ideas, feeling like you're stuck in a rut.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you fucking...
Well, in today's video, I'm going to show some methods on how to break out of that rut using concepts I use every day as a working guitar player. These aren't gimmicky tricks or quick fixes or anything like that. They're actually core fundamentals, which I think are essential for helping you unlock the fretboard. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So the first method is to learn the notes on the fretboard. But before we do, I want to tell you to avoid those fretboard diagrams that show you all the notes on the fretboard. They're information overload, they're way too complicated, and I think it's just going to make matters worse. So instead, we're going to break it down nice and simple for you. We're going to start with just the low E string, and I want to use the fret markers as guide points to help us learn the notes. And we only need to worry about this up to the 12th fret, because once you pass the 12th fret, you're at the octave point and all the notes just repeat themselves. So we only need to worry from the open string to the 12th fret. Now this works on every guitar, whether you've got 22, 24 frets, electric, acoustic, and whatever key you're in. So this method's applicable to any guitar and any key. So if we're to take the notes on the low E string, we're obviously going to start on a low E, and then our first fret will be an F. Now going up to fret 3, our first fret marker will be a G. Next marker, fret 5, is an A. Fret 7, we've got a B. Moving up 1 fret, we've got a C. And up to fret 10, we've got a D. Before we repeat the octave and E at fret 12. So your first step would be to learn and memorize all of those notes. Like I said, using those fret markers as a nice guidance point. Once you've understood that, you can then use octave patterns to unlock the rest of the neck. So if I take our G note here at fret 3 of the low E string, my octave would be at fret 5 on the D string. It sits 2 frets higher, and that octave shape is universal on this string. And the same applies for the A string and the G string too. So when you move on to other strings, that shape's going to help you unlock a lot of notes. I can then take that octave from the D string and play it 2 frets higher again. So I've got fret 5 on the D string, and then I've got fret 8 on the B string. And again, that shape is universal. Same applies to the G. So you can see already how just by having essentially 2 octave pattern shapes, you're going to start to learn all of the notes on the fretboard. Now, once you start getting comfortable with that, you're going to want to, for a quick little exercise, find all of the notes possible on the guitar. So we were working in G, so let's just continue with that. I've got G here, 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 and I'm already beginning to unlock the neck. Now, I'm sure you've already realized that this isn't a quick thing to learn. It's going to take some time, especially as you start to open things up into the other notes and other strings. But I think with a little bit of practice and a little bit of memorization, these concepts are really going to help you improve on the guitar quickly. Now, if you're finding these ideas helpful, I've got a great video course which I think you should check out. It's called 10 Days to Fretboard Freedom, and each lesson goes deep into one of these concepts on unlocking the fretboard. It's got 10 lessons, each on a concept which I use as a professional musician to unlock the fretboard. Each lesson's got downloadable exercises, diagrams and assessments to really apply what you're learning, and you can submit that to me for feedback. The aim here is to give you all of the tools you could possibly need to master the neck. Now, it's available right now using the link in the description at the discounted price of just £37. So for £37, you get access to 10 video lessons, downloadable exercises, tabs, assessment songs, diagrams, all of which is going to help you unlock that fretboard. But as an added bonus, I'm also throwing in a free ebook, which is a fantastic supporting guide to those lessons and takes concepts even further to help you really master the guitar. So using the link in the description, you get access to 10 Days to Fretboard Freedom and a bonus ebook for the discounted price of £37. Oh, and by the way, it's lifetime access. So you own it forever and you can keep coming back to these lessons again and again to review what we cover. But with that said, let's jump back into the next method on unlocking the fretboard. Now, the next step is arguably the most important when it comes to unlocking the fretboard, and that's to learn the intervals and triads within positions. If I was to take a standard major scale, that scale has 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it repeats at the octave. And an interval is the distance between those notes. So for example, that would be a major second, a major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, a major sixth, major seventh, and then we've got the octave and our octave pattern there. Learning where these intervals sit within a scale is so important for unlocking the fretboard. It's going to help not only with improvising to hit chord tones, but it's also going to allow you to construct triads. Now, a triad is a 3-note chord, and it consists of the root, the third, and the fifth. So if I take my root note here, I have a third here, and I have a fifth here. When I play that together, that gives me a G major triad. Now you can take those triads and reorder the notes to give yourselves inversions, which you can play across the neck. And then you've also got them on the upper 3 strings too. So that alone is going to massively open the fretboard up from those open chords. Now, we've talked a lot about octave patterns, triads, intervals, and those sorts of things, but we haven't properly yet touched on scales. Usually when we learn a scale, we'll learn it in a box-like shape that covers only a small part of the fretboard. But if I take our minor pentatonic scale that we're all familiar with, we can actually use that same shape, those same notes, to play throughout the fretboard and give us a little bit more freedom when improvising. So if I just play our minor pentatonic that we're all familiar with here in G, that scale, the minor pentatonic, has 5 notes. Pent meaning 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. We can reorder those notes to give us different pentatonic shapes, different scale shapes. They're in the same key, you just play them in a different order. So I'm going to give you the first 3, just to sort of give you an idea what I'm talking about here. Shape 1 is this minor pentatonic scale that we're really familiar with. Shape 2 is the major pentatonic, which some of you may know. And then I can play a shape 3 right here. And you can see already how that's taken me from here to here on the fretboard. It's starting to really open things up when I improvise. And it will allow me to play much longer and fluid passages up and down the neck. So there's a few methods on unlocking the fretboard. Did you find it helpful? Is there anything you'd add or change? If so, do let me know in the comments, because I do love to hear your thoughts on these videos. It really does help me make better content for you guys. And also don't forget about the discounted link to 10 Days to Fretboard Freedom down below. It really is a great way of supporting me and this channel to help me grow things as we go. And whilst you're down there, don't forget to subscribe too, as again, that's a great way of supporting the channel and showing that you like the content that I make. But until then, I've been Jamie Ellis, and I will see you in the next one.